Okay, so in today's update about Algo, at first we are going to talk about their partnership with FIFA, which recently got cancelled, and I'm going to tell you whether this can be a bad news for Algo or not. And then we are going to check out the live chart and see what is happening in this area, and can we still get another move up, or maybe from the current point we're going to see something like this, maybe like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So with that said, hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you're having a great time with your family and loved ones. And in case that you haven't checked the news, Algorand and FIFA were actually important partners, but recently FIFA decided to cancel the partnership, and they didn't really say anything. But in Algorand's Twitter account, they said, we cannot comment on any discussions between the partners of Algorand Technologies and FIFA, but we can say with confidence that the scalability, performance, and security of our L1, as well as its ability to host a collection like this one, are absolutely sound. Now, pay attention to this part, this is important. Of course, open blockchains and the transparent data that they provide may not suit every build. This is, I believe, is the key. Some entities may prefer a private database or want more control over permissions. Still, we wish FIFA the best of luck with their pivot. And I think you can already understand what probably happened in here. I'm gonna say FIFA probably needed to do something behind the scenes, but Algorand's system doesn't really work like that. And in my opinion, at least, this is kind of the strength of Algorand. And sure, like they say in here, maybe some projects do not like complete transparency. That's absolutely fair enough. But from my point of view, there are many other projects out there that would completely benefit from this absolute transparency. And I honestly do not believe that this is going to affect Algorand that much. If anything, this might be buying time. Why do I say that? Do you remember when exactly FTX collapse happened? It was in November of 2022. Now, let's go on Bitcoin's price chart and check the November of 2022 and see what happened in that period. If I just do this, excuse me, there we go. This is right in here, the FTX collapse, and as you can see, it actually marked our final low on BTC. And what happened from there? We got into a beautiful bull run, which I do think still is going to continue for quite some time. So I think we can all agree that the FIFA breakout with Algorand is not really as bad of a news as something like the FTX collapse, and that actually marked the bottom. So again, if you believe that bad news are going to come out around the lows, well, this might be a bit of a buy opportunity for you in Algo. So overall, I do not believe that this changes anything. Algo is still a great project. The system is completely healthy and up and running. So from my point of view, there's just nothing to be worried about. They are fully set to attract more and more adoption. So in terms of the news, I do not really think this is as big of the news as a lot of people make it to be. And in terms of the live chart, well, okay, that was kind of enough for Algo to just invalidate this bullish triangle structure. And I was really hoping that we get something like this, a break of the upper line, pullback, and a continuation of the move up. But, you know, we didn't do that. That's absolutely fine from my point of view. Why do I say that? Because I still believe in Algorand, more likely than not, we are still in a correction structure. Now, if you want to say this is maybe like an ABC zigzag to about this point, followed by that a correction, and okay, we can have like another ABC zigzag. But here's a very important point. I do not believe that we can say this is like a double zigzag to about this point, and the low of our correction is already in. Why? Because what do we have off of the lowest low? I think this is a three-wave movement, probably like an ABC zigzag, which kind of got confirmed when in this move down, which by the way, by itself, it does look like an impulse. We took the low of our B-leg. So what's the deal in Algorand? I do think in the short term, we are going to do probably something like this. However, from my point of view, the general pattern in this area, starting from the highest high about like 23.5 cents, is going to remain still as a corrective movement and not an impulse. And I do think after it's over, we're gonna have probably another move up into this wave 5. Now, question, should we chase this move on the upside or not? From my point of view, the answer is absolutely no. Why is that? Let's just go around here. You see, The ideal trading setup for you is when you see 5 wave up and correction down, and maybe at that point we are having on a higher degree a 1-2, and if this is happening, the next move is going to be a big one up into wave 3 and 4 and 5, and you can have a risk to reward ratio of around this area more than 1-to-1, which is really nice. And also, if right in here you miss your exit point, well, the setup is kind of forgiving, and it will once more give you another existing chance. So, you know, chances of you making money in this trade right in here is actually quite high. However, what if you enter a long position right in here? Question number one, where is your stop loss? Is it going to be under the low of our supposedly wave 2? Well, at that point, you're probably not going to have even like a risk to reward ratio of 1-to-1. So this is not that great. Point number two, let's say, okay, you are right and we are going to have a move on the upside. What if you miss your exit point right in here? The market in this phase, I promise you, is not going to forgive, because after an impulse, we are usually going to see a rather deep move on the downside. That's why right in here, from my point of view, is not a good long opportunity. And in Algorand, as you can see, if the bullish scenario is playing out, well, okay, this correction is into wave 4, and after we are going to have one more move up into wave 5, maybe like just in order to reach to about this region. And if we are lucky, sure, we can go up and reach to about here, but then after it, I'm expecting a relatively deep move down, even if we are looking bullish and optimistic. Why? Again, on a higher degree, what is the setup? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into 1, correction for wave 2. And what is one very important characteristic of a wave 2? You know the deal, being a relatively strong and deep move on the downside, and we might actually end up having like a move down in Algorand in order to reach to about these levels right in here, about like 17-18 cents. So again, do not get me wrong, in Algo, I still fully believe that we are going to have another move on the upside. And if I just go back on 30-minute charts, I think we can all agree this is a slow and choppy move down, which is a characteristic of a corrective movement. And between our pullbacks, we are just constantly having overlapping of the waves. And after this is over, I think we can get another move up. However, after this move, I'm expecting a move on the downside in Algo. That's why right in here, sure, I am bullish, but I do not believe this is a trading opportunity. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in Algorand's price chart. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make good money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time with your family and loved ones. Goodbye.